show a little bit about this game because it's kind of interesting, and I just played two games that were very similar, both of which I put my queen in very dangerous positions. And the second thing I want to show is that at the end of this game, when it looks all but lost, he decided to blunder and move to f1, in which I immediately played king up, which was obviously a horrible mistake because I could have just taken his queen for free. So the two things I want to talk about are queen positioning and being too active with your queen, and also at the end game when you don't take time to think about what you're doing. So go to the first moves and just skip ahead a little bit. This is sort of the opening that we ended up with, and I'm trying to push this d4 pawn up. So here I always like to capture the knight on c6, but take a second to look at it if you'd like, and I'll go ahead in a minute. Okay, so basically I captured on c6, and hoping that he would take back, which he did, and now I can push my pawn in the center. This was probably a bad move right off the bat. The main reason is that now that this is opened up on b7, his bishop can go and block me on a6, and that really had a huge factor in the game. I shouldn't do an attack before I've done my development, because this opportunity is going to stay here. It's not going to go away. It's not going to be pressured. I can do that whenever I want, so I should have done that, but I didn't. But the computer says to force it. That's the green arrow lines here. So it says, okay, capture, capture, and I recaptured with queen. Should have recaptured with knight, but oh, it says queen. So he ends up moving our knight out, and I could have castled here, but instead I was still more active, and he decided to put this move here, which really slowed me down. Now there's things I could have done to make it easier, and but the whole rest of the section here is to try to get that bishop on a6 out of the way so that I can castle. So I move my bishop up, and he does the same, and now I'm trying to attack this pawn on c6 because it's not defended by anything. He decides to defend it by queen, which is awesome. I decided to move my rook out, but let's see what happens. Move my rook out, and he castles like he should. And now I'm trying to capture this c6 pawn again. Now the computer says just to move this up, which I was hoping before he castled that I could move my knight to here after capturing, move my knight to here, and the pawn would be pinned to the king so he couldn't take back, in which case you have to move the queen, I could take, and then take again. So that's what I was hoping to do, but he ended up castling, which screwed that plan up. He took, and now it says for me to move up to here, which I didn't see. Let's see what happens. If I were to move here, he would move away because it's threatening the queen and he can't take back the pawn. That's right, because the rook pins to this. Actually, that would have been awesome, because then I could have taken. He would have had to expose his king, and now I can take here, hoping to take here, hoping to take here. That would have been way, way better for me. But that's not what happened in the game. So let's go back and check. He took back. I decided to push this pawn. That was a bad move for me because the computer says it gave him a free piece to do that. Let's see. So he takes with pawn. I still could have made that move, and it's still telling me to, but I didn't. Instead, I made this move to force the bishop to move away, which he did. And now I can capture this pawn. There's a problem with capturing this pawn, and I'll show you what happened. I did do that. He decided to move over. And here, I was worried about losing this pawn, and this is what I'm talking about. So I was worried about losing this pawn, so I thought, I don't want to lose it and then him check me and then me lose my rook. I guess if I lose it, I can castle, which would be fine. No, I can't castle because of the bishop. That was the problem. That was my big scare there. I ended up moving this move, which was disastrous. But I should, let me just see what it says. So let's go up to here with the knight, threatening the queen. And if the queen takes here, she can't take. Well, yes, you can, because then rook takes, and let's just say rook takes, knight takes, queen check. Ah, the queen can go and defend this square. That's the point. So let's go back. I take, he moves over. I moved up, which was a really bad move. But I could have moved a lot of things. Wow, one option was to take rook and just capture. That's interesting. I can't really see why, but anyway, I moved up to here. He always made the best move by doing this, which takes me down 8 points to do that. So I ended up going up. He captured my rook, this, and I did that just to save my queen, basically. And then he goes to check. And I move up, and he captures my rook. So that prevention of castling was really, really bad for me. And let's just skip ahead a little bit, because now there was a lot of dancing around, trying to save a game that is unsavable. One knight down. And here I make an escape, because I'm trying to play it right to the end. And, oh, that's an interesting move. To move here, let's say queen moves here, and queen recaptures, king recaptures, but it doesn't really help me at all. So yeah, so let's go back. So it ends up he captures, I move away, he captures, which I knew would happen, I move up here, and I'm just thinking, oh, it's over, game's over, who cares, whatever, and he ends up making this move. So I didn't pay attention at the end, thinking it was lost, discouraged about not playing well, and it ends up that he makes the biggest blunder of all time. So then I go to here to capture. He can move his rook over to defend. I can take this pawn. He can move up to attack me. I can move, I'd like to move here. He can move over to check. I can move back. I mean, now we're in a game that is winnable for sure. But anyway, yeah, that was a big problem. Trapping my own queen. I did it before up in this area, where I was too active taking all pawns and taking a pawn here with my queen. And it ended up that he was able to get my queen because of that. So protect your queen. Think about what you're moving. Closing access routes to your queen is really, really bad. Like when I moved this pawn up to here. Let's just go back for a second. So this was a really terrible move, that this b3 pawn, because it blocks the queen from going to here to defend when the queen eventually checks. It was much, much better to play the queen to c2. So anyway, hopefully that helps you out. Let's see what happens if I were to go here. Right, same thing. So just queen exchange, and then we're back into a basically, well, a close to even game anyway. Hopefully you learned something from that. Thanks a lot.